So here we are for another track guide, this time at Laguna Seca. So coming into the first corner, you want to look for the number 3 board and brake about a car length before that there on the right hand side. Now you want to go in deep to the corner, get close to the sausage curb on the entry of the corner, and you want to take it as a double apex. So you go deep and then bring it back in tight for the second apex, getting right up close to that sausage curb, trying to get a late apex and short shift into second usually to get good traction out there, using the exit curbing as well. Now coming into this right hander, you want to brake just at the number 2 board, maybe just after it. You want to be off the brakes by here and then just control the throttle. Be really careful with the weight transfer, making sure to get a late apex. I find not using this curb quicker on the apex to just stay clear of the curb. Coming into this right hander, you want to just have a little bit of braking at the number 1 board. Turn in and then just control the throttle, get a late apex right close to that sausage curb. You want to be really careful with the weight transfer for those 2 corners. Don't go as wide as I did there on the exit, just stay on the curb. I went a bit wide. Coming into this left hander, brake about a car length before the 2 meter board. You want to really trail the brakes into here as you see, get right up close to that curb and get a late apex. And be nice and smooth on the braking and throttle, because if you lift off the brakes too quickly at this track, you will just understeer. Coming into this left hander, you brake at the 2 board, you turn in and aim for that dip in the road and you'll end up near the apex. Use a lot of that curb but don't hit the sausage curb because it will unsettle the car. And then use all the track on the exit. You just have to commit for that corner, take a little bit of slip angle and just try and experiment with it how you can take it. So coming into this right hander, you want to brake about a car length before the 2 meter board. So this is how we approach corkscrew. So we're aiming for this bump on the right hand side as you see, and then once we're on this bump, we're then aiming for that dip on the left there, as that's going to be our apex for the left hander. And then once we get onto this curb, we're then aiming for this section here, this other dip, as that's going to be the right hander. And then we want to straighten up and aim for this marshal. So we're trying to aim for this marshal, and then once we can start to see the curb, we can bring the car over to the right, as you can see here. You do have to just experiment a bit with the track limits there. Start turning in for this corner at the start of the curbing on the right hand side. You just want a little bit of the brakes around here. Some cars you can just lift, but I find it quicker just to slightly tap the brakes. And then get nice and close to the sausage curb on the left hand side here. Use all the exit on the right there. And then coming into this right hander, brake at the 2 meter board. You want to trail your brakes hard into here, take a little bit of slip angle, get nice and close to the curbing, and try and just use all the traffic in this corner. You really have to commit to it. And then coming into the final corner, you want to brake about 2 car lengths or so before the 2 meter board. Very important not to go too deep into this corner, and get nice and close to that apex curb. You can actually use the curb, I've just missed it just slightly, but you can actually use that apex curb on the final corner. And then use all the track on the exit, as you can see here. And that finishes off the guide. So now we're going to look at the lap without me talking through it. As always guys, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and see you again next time.